What is up, YouTube? So here we are again at the first episode of my carb cycling series. I told you guys was coming forever. That little mini thing I did earlier with the three-part series, low carb, medium, high carb day, it's kind of a primer. This is the actual series where we're gonna track my progress, I'm gonna show you my meals, and we're gonna keep it pushing. So I looked through all the names, right, that you guys voted on. No one won the giveaway because I could not settle on a name in particular. So I apologize for those of you that participated. I'm sorry, there was just not a name that I felt really stuck. So my Cutting with Keto series did really well for me, and I'm thinking that, as boring as it sounds, the name of this series is just going to be Cutting with Carb Cycling. So I think that's what we're going on. So this is officially episode 1 of Cutting with Carb Cycling, and yeah, we're getting to it. So I don't want to bore you with too many details, but I'm getting ready to meal prep out for a few days, and I was just going to show you guys the process. So you want to see it? I'll show you. You want to see it, I know. So let me situate the camera. There we go. Now let me, for lighting purposes, there we go. All right, guys, so nothing crazy here. We're gonna do, I've just purchased these the other day. So I got some chicken breast here, and we are going to prep it. My favorite way to prep chicken, not necessarily for taste, but for convenience and ease of prep. So split our container here. There we go. And then what I basically do, hold on, let me grab my crock pot container. So for cooking chicken in bulk, I don't always fry it up in a skillet. I do sometimes if I'm in a hurry, but really I find that crock pot, I can make a ton of chicken at one time and it's really easy to do. So that is what I'm doing at this particular moment. Got my trash can here next to me. And then all I'm doing real quick before I throw these in here is I'm gonna go through, and you see all this nasty fat on here? Yeah, so all this crap. We're gonna go through and trim all this off the outsides of this chicken. That way, really it's just pure chicken breast. You can leave it on if you want to, but I find that I like my chicken a little more pure, and you don't have any gristlies or anything you're gonna accidentally munch on. So I'm gonna trim these off. See if I can show you a little better here. There we go, shout out to my new water cooler. Now mainly we're just going through, I'll try to show you this the best I can, and trimming off the crap. Nothing too fancy about what I'm doing here, guys. Just got some meat shears. People comment and laugh about these shears. Let me tell you, this is so much easier than a knife, guys. Invest in a pair of meat shears. It'll make this entire process much, much faster. Boom. So now I would consider this almost done. Let me get that little piece there. All right, so this is what your finished chicken breast is going to look like right here. All right, you see how there's barely any fat? I mean, we got a couple little pieces, but we're not really worried about those. It's the big gristly parts we're trying to get off. So nothing left on here that is gonna be detrimental to our goals or hit us with a nasty taste. So I take this, and then I got my crock pot container here. My hands are nasty. I don't wanna grab the tripod and show you, but I'm just gonna pop it down in there. So what I'm gonna do is the rest of this chicken breast I have here, there you go, that you can see. I have 2 big packs of this, right? I got this pack, that pack. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna trim all of these up just how I was doing it, put them in the crock pot, and then I will be back, all right? All right, guys, we got all of our chicken in here. This is probably about 10 pounds, really. I think each of those containers was about roughly 5 pounds. Usually that's what they are. So we're all trimmed and in the crock pot. So before I cook this, what I'm gonna do is add some seasonings to it. So you guys know how we do over here. Probably some seasoned salts. We got some garlic powder we'll do, and then lemon and pepper. Like I said, I keep stuff basic. I keep my seasonings constant just because I don't need to do anything fancy, really. We're eating, this is fuel right here, right? I mean, I want it to taste halfway decent, but I don't want to take too much time on it simply because I have other stuff I need to do. So we're gonna open up our seasoned salt and sprinkle some in here. Garlic powder, lemon and pepper. There we go. Now, you can always not season it now and you can season it later, but I do it now, and then if I want to add seasonings later or hot sauces, I will. So this is good. Now I take it and sit it on the crock pot, put the lid on, and then I know I've covered this before in previous videos, but the way you cook it in a crock pot, if you want to have the best taste, 8 hours on low is probably my preferred method, but I'm all about speed, so 4 hours on high will do us. Bam, click that, and then what's gonna happen is this will sit here and cook in 4 hours. That chicken will be done, so that is a wrap on that. And then after that's done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how I weigh out my food, how I portion it into containers, and how I get ready to prep for a carb cycling diet. So I've been doing IFYM, which is kind of my preferred method. That way, if I want a little something different, I can swap stuff in and out. I don't like my diet being the same. I think that's extremely boring, but I love to have pre-portioned chicken meals, like a staple like that, so that way I can, I have them already done. I'm way less likely to cheat on my diet. So, because I gotta get shredded shredded for you guys. Now, if you watched the vlog I just did yesterday, yes, yesterday, then you'll kind of see where my physique's at. So the goal is to be really shredded. I want to get super lean. So that's the goal of this series, guys. We're cutting with carb cycling. We are going to try to get really shredded because right now I am not as lean as I'd like to be. I got a decent little abs thing going on, but can definitely be a lot leaner. I'm talking like that like veins in my stomach. I'm talking that like just crazy leanness. So that's the goal, guys. That is the goal. It is extremely hard to get there. It requires a lot of discipline, a lot of mental strength, but we can get there. So that's the goal, guys. That's the goal of this series. Anyways, so while that's cooking, I need to eat something. All I've had today so far is a protein shake. So I'll show you what I did for meal one. Today's low carb day, by the way. So we're doing very low carb here. So I did 1 scoop of MyoFeed, 1 scoop of ISO HD, then I had 1 cup of vanilla almond milk blended up into a shake. That's all I've had after my workout. So now we're actually gonna have our official meal 2 for the day. I got my pan here preheating. We are gonna make ourselves an omelet, guys. So hope you're ready. Let's do it. All right, guys, let me give you a rundown of what we're about to do. So I got this 90% lean ground sirloin. You've probably seen me buy this yesterday, but what I'm gonna do is I've already macroed this into my phone and MyFitnessPal app, right? So let me just show you, for those of you that don't use MyFitnessPal, I'm gonna be tracking everything I do in MyFitnessPal. So this is gonna keep me accountable and I can really watch my macros. So basically here, looking at my phone, you can see that I tracked my cup of almond milk I had earlier, 90-10 lean ground sirloin. I got all 16 ounces of the entire pound here. That's the thing. So if I know that like, I weigh stuff out, right? But if I know that if I eat this whole pack, it's a certain amount, then I'll just scan it and put the whole pack in my phone. Same thing with egg whites, instead of weighing them out. Now you can meticulously weigh them out if you want, but I like to just eat the whole thing, so it'll work. It'll fit my goals. So then we have spinach. Now we're gonna do about half the bag of spinach, and that's another thing. You can weigh your spinach out if you want, but I know that I want about half that bag according to the macros. That's what I've calculated in here. So even if I go over a little bit on half the bag, I know that as long as I do, the other half of the bag tomorrow and it's a little less or a little more, the macro is evened out for the week. So just don't get too particular with this stuff, guys. Then we also have the 2 scoops of protein in here. So I've already tracked everything today. Now if I go to the bottom, click nutrition, and then here's my macros for the day. So with everything I'm consumed so far, 194 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, and 13 grams of carbs. So what I'm gonna do is make that entire packet there, then make that entire container of egg whites, half that bag of spinach, mix it up, and that'll probably be enough for 2 meals for me today. So let's get started. All right, first thing I'm gonna do, got my cooking spray here. We're gonna go ahead and hit it, butter flavored, hit the pan with it. There you go, we don't want any of this to stick, so got that there good. We're gonna open up our great lean ground sirloin and we're gonna do it first. It'll take the longest to cook, so we'll take it, and then what I like to usually do is break it up into little pieces. Now this might get loud, so hopefully it doesn't mess with the audio too much as this fries up, but I'll break it down into little pieces here. Now you might ask why I'm only doing 90-10 and I'm not doing leaner ground beef, or you're asking me why I'm doing egg whites and not regular eggs. Well, typically on a regular day, if I didn't do the beef, which this is kind of rare, I kind of wanted to just have a little treat today. I went shopping and bought this. So if I wasn't having a fattier meat like ground beef, right, and I was just doing a regular white fish, or I was doing ground 99% lean ground turkey or chicken, then I would have regular eggs for the fat content. But this is gonna have fat in it already. So I know the liquid egg whites is gonna be pure protein, no fat. This has the fat. It's all about swapping stuff around to fit your macros, guys. Hopefully this is making sense. I know I tend to ramble sometimes. Apologies, guys, apologies. All right, that's the last of it in there. Let me wash these. All right, hands are washed. You guys know the drill. We got all 3 of our seasonings I just showed you, so hit the beef with these. All right, now I'm gonna cover it for a second. Let that sit, let that cook for a little bit. All right, let's check and see how this beef's doing. Not too bad. Come in here and mix it up a little bit. You can see the pieces I laid down first. They're tending to brown a little faster. By the way, if you've never had ground beef and egg whites, you are really missing out. Let me tell you. Go ahead and lid you back up. All right, guys, ground beef is officially done. We're gonna go ahead and take half the bag of spinach and throw it in there with it. Let it cook down a little bit before we add the egg whites. So, boom. Like I said, we're just estimating here, but we know in the end what we're gonna have. All right, we're gonna call that half the bag. So our spinach is in here now. Basically what I'll do is I'll push it down. It'll let it cook a little bit, and then it'll shrink up a tad. That way it's not sticking out the top. And then once it shrinks up, we're gonna add in our egg whites. Boom, we got ourselves a couple meals. So as you guys can see, that spinach is cooked down quite a bit already. So we're gonna go ahead and take our break-free liquid egg whites. We're doing the entire container, and we're gonna dump it in here. Now this will fill this up a decent amount. There we go. And then we kind of want that stuff to cook in with the egg whites. So depending on if you want to scramble or make an omelet, I would stand here and mess with it and make them scrambled, but in the end, I'll just make an omelet and split it in two or mix it up or whatever. So I'm gonna add some more garlic powder in here. It really helps add some flavor to those egg whites. A little more dash of this. As you can see, I just kind of wing it when it comes to seasonings. And some lemon and pepper. Okay, so now that we got those added, what I'm gonna do is lid it, and then I'm gonna let that egg white cook all the way through. I will be back when this is finished. All right, guys, we are finished. So I ended up scrambling them up after the fact. I figured that'd be easier to kind of sort them out, but look at that. We have egg whites, ground sirloin, and spinach all in there, and then we even have enough for a second meal. So I know the way I track these in MyFitnessPal, I'm gonna eat both of these today. If I decided not to eat that and have something else, I would just cut out half of the quantity as I entered in. I'm gonna go ahead and put a lid on that, and then I think we're gonna add a little bit of this hot sauce I just bought, this XX extra hot, triple X, scandalous. I see what you did there, being naughty. But yeah, we're gonna add some of this and taste test it right now. So what would a Remington James video be without a taste test? We're gonna give this a shot, so let's check it out. Lid on you, and then get yourself some meal prep containers, guys. It makes this stuff much easier to travel on the go and eat, and throw you in the fridge. All right, guys, we'll do the first taste test without the hot sauce and see how it is. So hopefully you can hear me well. I got the camera pushed a little farther away, that way you can kind of see everything, right? But yeah, check that. Well, I already showed you that. Why would I show you that again? Here we go. Let's make sure we get a little bit of everything. A little bit of spinach, a little bit of egg white. How's that look? Give her a shot. It's good, guys. Some people are grossed out by clean food, but I think this is great. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's good. We're getting tons of protein here, really beneficial for our goals, and for a low carb day, you really want to make sure you're keeping those carbs to a minimum. So we opted for spinach. We're getting our greens, our micronutrients in, some fiber, without going overboard. So take this hot sauce here. It's supposed to be triple X hot, so let's see how hot it is. Woo! Don't even know where my water's at, but that is really hot. I think I might have made a bad decision there. But all right, so I'm gonna eat this, and then I will be back here in a little bit. I'll show you guys what the meal prep process looks like for my chicken and how I sort it out and weigh it and all that stuff. So it is currently over there. Can you see it? Yeah, it's right there. There. So it'll be finished in a few hours, and then I will be back, all right? Don't be jealous, guys. Don't be jealous. See you soon. All right, guys, a little bit of time has passed, and as you can see, my chicken here is done. You can tell because it's on keep warm function. So that's what's cool about this crock pot, is it'll actually keep it warm when it's done. That way I don't have to come back at exactly 4 hours worried about it overcooking. So let's see what she looks like. We're trying to stay back so we don't get that steam fogging up the lens here, but look at that. It's all cooked, so it's time to sort it and weigh it out. So here we go, guys. I have all my meal prep containers laid out here. I'm estimating I'll need about 8 for this chicken. So I'm gonna do 8 ounces of chicken, or 224 grams in each one of these. That equates to about 56 grams of protein per 8 ounces of cooked chicken. So we got our food scale here. I'm gonna try to set this tripod up, that way you can see it. But first things first, the thing about crock pot chicken, right, is that, check that out. See how it just falls apart? You can go in here, and basically I'm gonna go through and I'm going to shred this all up. That way it's shredded, easier to manage, and I can weigh it out, and that way everything's as accurate as possible. So let me set this tripod up, I'll be right back. Real quick, just so you can see, this is what the shredded chicken looks like. I wanna show you the weighing process and how I do it exactly. So first thing you wanna do, you wanna grab your meal prep container, right? Plastic, flimsy. Yeah, these are actually pretty good containers. So you get yourself a meal prep container. This makes it way easier. That way you can, stuff them in the fridge, grab them when you need them. So we're gonna sit it on our scale here, right? Turn it on and then wait for it to go to 0. Okay, so we're on 0 grams right there. So what I'll do, get myself some chicken here. Actually, let me grab a different utensil for this. Probably easier. What we got? Perfect. Okay, so get ourselves a scoop. There we go. Sit you in here. I see 138 grams. So we want each of these to be 212. So go back in here at 185. Where are we at with it? 232. So then I'll go in and take out a little bit. That's why I like using grams, guys. It's a universal form of measurement and it's extremely accurate. 213. Okay, now I don't get that picky to where I'll mess with that gram, but that's really close. We have 8 ounces of cooked chicken in there, 56 grams of protein. Boom. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna do that to each one of these containers until I either A, need an extra container, or run out of chicken. And that's the thing, right? You don't have to be this meticulous. I mean, I always recommend weighing your food out if your goal is to get shredded, because sometimes it takes that level of discipline if you're really trying to get lean. But for the most part, this isn't like, you know, necessary. Like if your goal isn't to be a competitor or to get, you know, super shredded, then you can eyeball stuff, just make healthier choices and still get goals. But this is kind of the extreme method of doing it. And this is how, when I really buckle down and I want to get like, you know, single digit body fat percentage, this is how I do it. Now real quick guys, while I'm prepping out here, I just kind of wanted to run through, for those of you that don't know exactly what carb cycling is, basically what I'm doing is I will go 4 days in a row on low carb, right? So that means my diet mainly consists of about 250 grams of protein, around 70 grams of fat, and around 50 grams of carbs, trying to get as much fiber as I possibly can, mainly sticking to just green vegetables. Depending on which veggies I go with that day, I might have a little extra carbohydrates for, let's say, like a little bit of oatmeal or something like that. But for the most part, it's gonna be strictly protein and fats, very minimal carbs. And those are my low carb days. I do this for about four days. So about Sunday through, so the way it works out, I'm sorry, it's actually 3 days in a row, low carb day on this plan I'm doing. So like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we will do low carb day. So I will then do Wednesdays typically. Now you can switch these days up. It doesn't have to be the exact day, as long as you're kind of cycling at the correct time frames or intervals of time, whatever. Then I'll hit Wednesday, I'll have a medium carb day. So protein will stay about the same, fat will drop maybe a little bit, maybe not much depending. And then I will go ahead and introduce some carbs into my diet. I'll typically go to about 100 grams of carbs. So I'll have some oatmeal, have a shake with some fruit in it, stuff like that. And then another couple days where I'll be low carb again. And then Saturday will be my high carb day where I'll really bump my carbs up, and that's gonna raise that leptin response and really kick in fat burning mode for me. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's kind of what I'm doing. I know a lot of you kind of watch my carb cycling stuff and you have an idea of what I'm about to do, but this is the first episode. I feel like I would cover that a little bit. So if you have not seen any of my other carb cycling content, you can go back and watch it. Now I do know that this style of carb cycling I'm doing is gonna be a little different than the last style, based solely on the fact that the last time I did it, it worked really well for me, but I always like to switch things up a little bit. So I'm gonna give myself a little more carbs at all times just to see how my body reacts to it. I wanna try to hold on to as much size as possible. I know the format I used last time worked and I got really lean, but hey, what would life be if you're not switching stuff up and experimenting, right? All right, I'm gonna finish getting these containers wrapped up and I'll be back. All right guys, I just got everything weighed out, sorted into containers. Let me show you what I'm working with. So, we ended up actually having room for 2 more meals. So we ended up getting out of this a total of 10 meals, 8 ounces or 224 grams of chicken in each one of these. Now, you might say, are you done? You can add your veggies, you can add whatever else. So here's the thing, I work from home, right? I'm an online trainer, I do client plans, meal plans for people. I'm basically working with clients, shooting videos, editing videos all day. That is what I do for a living. So I'm here. So this is really, I have this prep. This is the hardest thing to prep for me. Low carb day, obviously, I'm stopping my veggies. So I know a lot of you guys have seen this, but for new subs, you might be new to the series, I do all my veggie steam bags. This is steam bag broccoli. In the microwave, this guy will prep in like 5 minutes. I can throw these in first thing in the morning, get them in my meals for the day. Good to go. So I keep this super simple. If I wanted to, like let's say I didn't work from home and I had to drive to work or whatever, I could easily prep these right now, throw them in, but I like them as fresh as possible. So they will last for a couple days if you prep them, so don't sweat that too much. That's just my choice because I work from home. So, and then on medium carb days, or high carb days for that matter, I keep things simple. We got our ready rice here in the microwavable bags. All I gotta do is microwave this, count the macros on the back of it, dump it into the meals I need for that day. I will do 2 of these a day, by the way. So this is 5 days worth of protein here for me. And then we also have 2 of the microwave sweet potatoes. So I've shown you guys 100 times, but like I said, this is how I prep. So basically I will prep these proteins out, seal them up, put them in the fridge, and then as I transition through low carb days, medium carb days, and high carb days, I will add these in as needed. So pretty simple, guys, pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and lid these up and stuff these in the fridge. And voila, guys, check it out. That even goes deep back in there. So we are good to go. Like I said, that's about 5 days. I'll have 2 of these a day. That's gonna equate to about 112 grams of protein. And that's gonna really make life a little easier for me. So I'll just add in what I need as I go, making carb cycling a snap. All right, guys, this is gonna conclude episode 1 of Cutting with Carb Cycling. CWCC for short. I think that'll work. I don't know, we're not getting too fancy here. I want to number these, and I just like to have a system in place. And Cutting with Carb Cycling, I think, was just cutting with keto. It's a smooth transition, people get it. And as I move down the road and I gain more subscribers, I start doing different series, I think it'll be good to do branch out to other names. But for now, keep it as simple. Cutting with Carb Cycling works for me. So thank you to everybody that voted. I'll do another giveaway soon, because I'm sorry I didn't pick anybody. But anyways, this is episode 1. I'm gonna try to keep these updates as frequent as I possibly can. I'm gonna show you guys meal prep, low carb days, high carb days, what I do to switch things up, and everything. That way you guys can not only learn, but hopefully get a little entertainment and value out of this. So as I'm sitting here now, this vlog is finishing. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet. I think, Did Vegas Ruin My Physique? Question mark is what this one's gonna be called. So we got about 4 minutes left on it. I'm gonna upload it and then, yeah, back at it again. So thank you. Oh, by the way, if you want a Team RJF t-shirt or a Team RJF hat, or if you want an RJ Fit Apparel tank top for ladies, or I have different shirts too, check out my website, rjfitapparel.com. I appreciate the support. Those of you that have been buying my stuff, send me pictures of you rocking it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So rjfitapparel.com, check that out. And also too, if you're interested in trying carb cycling and you want to do this along with me, my website, remingtonjsfitness.com. I've been making so many carb cycling plans for people. I appreciate all the support as well there, guys. You guys really help me live my dream. But if you want your own custom carb cycling meal plan, you want to kind of follow along with me and I'll build one for you, specifically for you, exact measurements, everything, go to my website and sign up. I appreciate it, guys, so much. The support is incredible. So this is episode 1. I want to make this an amazing series, guys. I want to keep doing these updates, keep putting these videos out. I'm literally working from sun up to sundown, but I would not have it any other way. So I don't really have a social life right now, but it is what it is. I guess you guys are my social life. So be sure to leave a comment. Tell me what you think of the series so far. Give me ideas. I always love what you guys have to say. So thank you so much. Don't forget to smile, pay somebody a compliment, and remain positive, because you never know whose day you're making better. And do not forget to chase your dreams, guys. I know I touch on this stuff a little bit here and there, but for real, like when I started this, I literally didn't know where any of this was gonna go. But all I did, no matter what, no matter how many negative comments I got, no matter how many people told me it wasn't possible, I grinded every single day for this. And now, I mean, you know, I'm not like sitting at the top of a skyscraper or anything like that, or, you know, I don't own a Maserati or a Ferrari, but I work for myself. I don't answer to anybody but myself, and my success or failure ultimately depends on me. No one can fire me. No one can tell me what I can and can't do. It's literally all in my control. And you know what? I'm working more now than I ever have in my life, but I wouldn't trade this for anything. This is my dream. This is what I wanted, and all it took was a little bit of hard work every single day to get here. So don't forget that. If you want something, if you want that abs, if you want to start your own business, whatever it is you want, you can have it. You just gotta work for it, right? Positive actions create positive reaction. You just have to take that first step. Small steps daily add up to long distances covered over time. So I've been at YouTube now for about 11 months, and you know, within 6, I was able to quit my job and do this full time. So I'm forever thankful. Anyways, guys, enough ranting. Ranting Rem here again. Like I said, thank you. You guys have a great one, and I will see you at the next episode, all right? See you guys.